Hello, and it is March 24th at 9:41 Pacific Standard Time p.m. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm here discussing actually some topics about my life in general, what's going on with things, and I'd also like to discuss a really important topic like why people are retired and what's the elite's plan with this. What's the big game plan with it, basically. So we'll get right to it. So one thing I'm having trouble with right now is getting people to fill this apartment I have because they think that I'm going to be going to the loony bin maybe, or I'm going to be getting into some random limo. And I have been trying to get into these random limos because the population wants me to get in and basically either give myself up as a sacrifice, because the elites do want to kill me at this point, or basically negotiate with them. The thing is, as Katy Perry said in one of her former videos, I think it was the video Rise, I think that's the name of the video. She said, I do not negotiate, which is like she's talking for the Illuminati, basically. And I actually had a chance to meet up with her, and I chose not to because I was worried that she was going to possibly poison me. I mean, see, the thing is, what I've done usually deserves a death penalty, basically. It's like you don't get out of this. I took an implied blood oath that, like, it's an implied blood oath. I didn't really take a blood oath. I've been through several resident initiations, too, as well. And most people are like, why don't you just go through with it and just be evil? And, like, well, no one really wants to be evil and messed up. I mean, if you take a look at some of the things that they're about, it's bad. I mean, it's really evil and heinous. Anyway, there's that. And I mean, I'm making it, and I'd like to let the population know. And the thing is, no one's allowed to really watch my YouTube channel. No one's probably going to view this until I either go to a mental institution or until someone gets my computer files. So anyway, because there's a filter up on the internet, so no one can really view my videos. A select few can. And same, that goes for a lot of other YouTube channels as well. But so anyway, we'll get back on topic here. I like to state the fact that, yes, I am trying to get into these random limos occasionally, except for the fact that they come out so random that, I just don't, it just throws me off. It's like, I don't like to bother people, man. It's like, I'm just the kind of guy, that's the kind of guy I am. I just don't like to, if a cab's waiting, and the other thing is, we'll talk about them. The other thing, if a cab's waiting for someone, I assume that, like, they're waiting for someone. I should have gotten this one that was at my recent job that I thought was probably for me. But the thing is, they're making it look random because I get some sort of maybe a reward at the end of it, supposedly. But the thing is, in my head, it's not really in my messed up kind of head, considering they messed me up kind of bit. Like, I'm super paranoid all the time because I've been through modified beta monarch programming, so I'm paranoid, basically. And so I think that the cab, since, like I said before, what I've done deserves a death penalty, I think that at the end of the cab ride, there might be, someone there to kill me. I heard that, like, basically the best case scenario is I look a little even the worst case, supposedly, what they keep claiming, I can hear them chattering overhead, is that I look beat up, I'll look beat up afterwards, which, I mean, the thing is, like I said, I'm worried about getting killed. And I look at it like this, it's like what I did was kind of the right thing to do. Most of the population is not going to be okay with what they're doing. I'm not okay with it. It's horrible. I mean, it's absolutely horrible. They probably will succeed in the end because the Bible says they will succeed. The thing is, they might not. There's also a possibility that they don't succeed because, like I said, most of the population is not okay with it, and they're drastically outnumbered. There's only, like, Richie from Boston claims there's only, like, 8,000 or so satanic families that are, that are dominating this place, basically, or basically that are in on it, or they're in on the New World Order. None of them, of course, are the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and Bushes. But so anyway, and then they have their lower level supporters. So anyway, I'd like to say that, like, to reassure people that, look, I've had this one limo, by the way, this one supposed limo. The thing is, I haven't got the first actual limos I've had, like, 3 or 4 actual limos drive by, and this was during the summer, mostly after March. The first one came after March, and they always come on auspicious dates. Basically, they like to do things on certain dates. Like if I would have gotten in a cab, it wasn't even a cab, actually. This is how random they made it look. They had a cab, not cab, actually. I can't call it a cab. They had a car. They had a car waiting at the North Side Albertsons near me over here, and how am I supposed to know to get in this thing? Of course there's no invite. But the thing is, it's implied that I might get some sort of reward at the end of it. But the thing is, how are you going to trust liars? These people they're satanic and they break the 10 Commandments. They want to kill me. Why? These are the reasons why I didn't. I'm trying to explain this in this video. This is why I didn't get into the first couple limos, because I'm like, okay, or the first, dozen or maybe the first six or dozen, or probably like the first, let's say the first dozen. I didn't make any attempt to get into them because I know what the outcome might be: my death. Either, I mean, I don't mind getting beat up, but I do also mind getting programmed to where I'm brain dead or a frontal lobotomy. Like I said, I fall in the hands of their handler. I didn't say this yet, but if I fall in the hands of their handlers, it's game over for me. I don't want to be lobotomized. I don't want to be brain dead. So that's that, you know. But I'd like to reassure the public that yes, I have made several attempts. To anyone who watches the video, let's say I've made several attempts to get in these limos. I've had one near my house, a cab, and see, this is how crazy this is. This is totally nuts. I've had a cab near my house. I tried to get in, okay? I went up to it, and one of the members of the Illuminati might or might not have, because I can barely hear them sometimes, might or might not have told them, like, oh, he has to actually get in. So, you know, that's that. The thing is, they have to treat me poorly because, one, I have a get-out-of-jail-free status. Two, I've blown the lid on the Illuminati, so they're livid. So that's that. You know, I don't know if we have a third reason. Can we come up with a third reason of why? Anyway, so it is what it is. You know, it's a horrible situation I'm in right now. I can't get out. I'm trying to get out of the Illuminati. I can't really get out. The only ways out of the Illuminati are through death. You kill yourself, or someone kills you, or you fake your own death, which is what a lot of Hollywood celebrities are doing right now. It's awful. It's downright awful. I mean, I would have been promised, yes, riches and treasures on this earth, but God tells you not to build up treasures on this earth. Instead, that song, you know, You Make Me a Believer by Imagine Dragons, I believe the band that does that. That song's like about me. You know, they made me a believer instead because, like, really, I mean, I don't want to go along with what they're doing. It's really nefarious. So that's that. You know, so and the population, of course, I think is taking haircuts because I didn't get in the first real limo, and the first two, or the two that came after that, I didn't get. I mean, I didn't get in any of them because I didn't want to. I don't want to go out for the Illuminati because I don't trust them at all. I mean, you got to get treated. You have to go through mental and physical trauma, some of which I have gone through, to get in, and I really have gone through. I've had my life's been kind of a living hell, basically. I mean, there's been times in which it's really not been so pleasant. So that's that. And one of the things I'm going to scratch on the surface here is why people enter into retirement, why we have people in retirement in Bend and also in the country in general. We have basically the elites have decided to do this scheme where they're having people enter into retirement, and it's actually has some good and some bad with it. You know, I mean. So the thing is, there's a lot of unemployed people, so it reduces people who are going to participate in the labor force. They don't have to find jobs anymore because they're given free money. And the other thing is, I don't know if they're getting a haircut because I keep on hearing them say hair. No, they say haircut, I think, for the people who are going for therapy or in trouble for, like, crimes, basically, because of me not cooperating with them to get things done. So anyway, that's a different topic. We'll get back to the retirement topic. The retirement topic. Okay, so we'll talk about it like this. Okay, people are allowed to stand in line for welfare, basically, for, you know, to get some free money in Bend, and I think might be national. I'm not too sure though. So they get that, and they have a good portion of the population entered into this. Not, you know, it's a fairly significant number. So we have that, and the reason why they're doing it, like I said, is to, like, you know, there's just not enough jobs available. It's the people. The thing is that they're doing it for, like, some more nefarious and or hidden reasons, so we'll get into it. They enter them into retirement due to the fact that what's the word for it? It's a portion of the they're trying to keep the population calm and stable before they implement their plan. That's just my opinion, and I don't know if they're doing it nationally. Oh geez, here comes this thing. If they're doing it nationally, then that means that it's a part of a definite plan. But I know they're doing this in Bend, Oregon, to be specific. So they're doing it to keep people calm and content before the plan gets implemented, because that's what you want. You don't want a population that's, like, on edge, that's especially after the financial crisis happened. And that's why I think that they're doing, one of the main reasons why they're doing it. And their plan also, of course, is to, depopulate a bit. It depends on whether or not they're going to implement the Georgia Guidestones, which is depopulate towards 500 million, or they're going to put the what are their plans? They're going to put in UN Agenda 21, basically, which is also, like, you know, depopulate, put people into cities, which is kind of similar to the old America 2050 map. The old America 2050 map is different than the new one, by the way, because after the people found out about the America 2050 map, they took a look at it. I'm sure if you take a look at the book The Hunger Games, that map for the Hunger Games cities where they're at corresponds to roughly corresponds to the old America 2050 map, which is basically as simple to describe it as, best way to describe it is, let's say it's like this. You just put people into cities, you get people out of the countryside. It's an agenda to huddle people into cities to control them, supposedly they claim it's for environmentally friendly measures. It's mostly about control. It's about depopulation. It's about enslavement, kind of. Because you're going to have the thing where you have now, where you have people being kept track of by the cell towers, basically. So anyway, and some of that comes with some good and the bad, the cell towers, by the way, because there are people who are criminals who need to be kept track of, and also, but the thing is, it's an invasion of privacy, which is why I hate the cell towers. That, and I hate my head buzzing sometimes. I can feel my head buzzing because they're like, it's the mind reader, and it's also something else keeping track of me. So, I thought I heard something out there. So anyway, it is what it is. So the other reason why they have people, they're going to enter people into retirement is due to the fact that they can now have a portion of the population under their control, and this is good because they're all about, the satanic elite are all about control. It's kind of like it's kind of funny. They kind of make it seem like they espouse freedom and liberty, because it says that in some of satanic temples and satanic creed that you will read. You could read it from certain Church of Satan. People who are inspired by, Luciferian doctrine sometimes espouse this thing where they claim this false claim to freedom and liberty, but in actuality, it's about enslavement. Because it's not a coincidence that the Nazi Third Reich had the same colors as the Church of Satan. They're both totalitarian, basically. And they're also starting what would appear to be a totalitarian police state. So that's that. So they have a portion of the population, let's say, that's under their control. And that's the other thing that's affecting me right now, is this portion of the population that's under their control. Now, the reason why people won't take my room that I have for rent here is because they're thinking I'm going to go to the loony bin, but they're also under control. So I'm thinking that it's possible that he might we might have trouble getting someone to fill the room. We might not. I've had 8 or so people cancel on me because they're worried that I might go to the loony bin, like I said, or that they're under control and they're just trying to harass me and give me a hard time, which I guess is somewhat understandable, but not. It kind of sucks when I'm like having to interview so many people and not getting anywhere with it. So that's that. And the other thing is, we're gonna get. This is the retirement topic we're talking about here. They have people entered into retirement right now, and I don't know if this is. I think this might be nationally too, because the thing is, like I said, it's good because it has some good to it. Because it keeps people stable, and you need money to live. Okay, let's face it. You do. You need money to live. Okay, so it comes with some good, and the other thing. Oh, the other thing is, like I said. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. No, I don't think I did. They have this portion of the population that's under their control, that's receiving free retirement money, does not want them to take down the economy, because the elites keep on threatening over and over again that we're going to take down the economy if you bring Greg into therapy. They bring me into therapy, it's all over, because their plan's all over if I decide to not really cooperate with. And I'm trying not to cooperate with them, but I kind of have to because I live here and I'm still alive apparently, because I mostly have people running the mind reader for me and I have to thank them. So the thing is, they're under their control and they don't want to have the economy taken down because they don't want to have their free money go away. And a lot of the people, it's just a bad situation. It's like, look, the economy needs to be reformed eventually, and if you let the elites reform the economy on their own terms, it's going to be awful. They're implementing very slowly what would appear to be an Agenda 21 or Agenda 2030, they call it now, initiatives, which are these environmentally friendly so-called environmentally friendly huddle people into cities initiative. That is, it's horrible actually. It's not a good plan. They're making it look like a good plan. It's not a good plan when you have when you have your house burned. The thing is, they're not implementing it too much right now because the Californians had figured out after their houses got burned down, and maybe someone figured out that the mudslides might be fake. I know the fires are definitely fake, but the mudslides can be also artificial as well because in the Vietnam War they used to cause mudslides deliberately by cloud seeding to wreck the Vietcong supply lines. There's a lot of floods going on in California, but mostly the fires were the big thing. Those were the fires that were definitely fake. And I know that a lot of people don't want to, they don't want to talk about the topics that, hurt, but this is some real stuff that you got to know because it's going to happen to you. It might happen to you at some point. And, it's horrible to have your house burnt down in the middle of the night by a drone flying overhead with a direct energy weapon on it. That's pretty much what happened there. And they're making it look like the elites are smart, okay? They're not stupid. They're making it look like it's wildfires, and they're not wildfires, man, when the entire foundation of the house is gone. It's a really hot, high-heated directed energy weapon. And you can find videos on this on YouTube mostly. You gotta look. If you have your filter lifted, you can look and find them. So anyway, they're doing that. We have also, they're entering people into retirement. If they're doing it nationally, which I think they might be, the ultimate goal, one of the other goals, let's say, is to prepare people for the time when you have human emulations take over the labor force. Human emulations haven't been created yet, as far as I know, but they might have, because human emulations will be the first step, most likely, towards building the third Luciferian temple, the transhumanist vessel for a human to live in forever. But rather than build a actual vessel that can, well, actually, that's the thing. The vessel can maybe walk. That's the thing. If they put a human and computer, which is what the emulation is, it can actually have a vessel too, but it's not like a real avatar. Like it's like less human-like. I mean, they won't be able to. Kind of think if they would actually be able to have a vessel and have appendages, basically. So yeah, it would be kind of like the Luciferian Third Temple. But what basically the best way to describe it is a human emulation is you take all the human mind and you just download it into a computer, and you could either speed up the computing power to make the human much more faster, or you could slow it down. However much computing power you want, they just grab it from other hardware nearby, And they might even have something like that now, for all I know. I mean, it's feasible. They have some extremely really high-tech stuff right now. So anyway, that's one thing. It's to prepare, because when these human M's, when they take over the economy, they will take over the economy because they can outwork all the office workers. They'll do literally all the office work, let's say. They'll run automation assembly lines, maybe. They actually will probably take over the economy outright, and humans will be forced into retirement, and they'll start doing it. Actually will. This is one of the things why in the Bible, why it says, like, there'll be a bunch of people shouting for peace, or they'll be like declaring peace, and then like suddenly death will greet them. And this is kind of like a big Satan's last hurrah, like, making things good on the surface, but in actuality, it's not good because. So anyway, I mean, the outcome of that is that, yeah, if they did have people get paid retirement money and everyone's allowed to retire and live good, then that's kind of good. But I mean, I don't know if they're going to do that and have everyone live like the same kind of life, because the human emulations would boot people from the economy. But you see what I'm saying? They're going to putting people into retirement now prepares people for the future when they're going to be unemployed from these human emulations, and also robotics, taking over the economy basically. So this is why we have this retirement thing going right now. And some people refer to it as like retardedment, because that's the term I came up with, because they're declared as mentally retarded, and they're not in the labor force anymore. So they've decided to leave the labor force, and something like that, they get free money from it. So that's the other portion of the population that does that. But it comes with some good and it comes with some bad, like anything the elites really do. It's, excuse me. That's kind of it, it's like, so we have that, so we'll see what happens with it. So I guess this is it for now, and I hope you all have a good evening, and may God bless you all.